Hi there, this is just a short video on whether you should study business at college. You'll find this particularly useful if you are currently in year 11 and thinking about your options, or you're a parent and carer looking to give advice to your son or daughter about whether they should take up business at college. I've got over 25 years experience of teaching, and so I know a little bit about these courses, and let's get on with it. So at college, at the moment, most colleges offer two choices. You can either go down the A-level business route or the BTEC business route. Now, the likelihood is there's going to be some BTEC business changes coming up in the next couple of years, but that doesn't invalidate the current qualification. And of course, if you do study that qualification, it means that you will get it and you will get certificated in it. So let's just take a quick look at some of the basic reasons as to why you might want to study business. One of the things that I always say is that likely at some point you're either going to go and work in a business or have a business of your own. Studying business will give you an insight into that world in which you could be for the next 50 years. Opens the door to university alongside your other qualifications. So 3 A-levels is the sort of normal entry requirements into university. By studying business, whether BTEC or A-level, you would be entitled to go to university. And also it does help to develop those entrepreneurial skills. So if you're sort of seeing yourself one day running a business, or you're into business and like to know more about the world of business, then business as an option could definitely be for you. So now let's just take a quick look at the educational skills that you would learn while studying business. You would get an understanding of the economy. Students learn how businesses operate within the wider economy. A lot of students who study business also like to study economics. The two subjects are completely separate. However, there is some overlap, so the two subjects do go quite nicely together. Career flexibility. Business studies open up diverse career paths, of which I'll talk more about in just a moment, from marketing, management to finance, human resources, things like that. Practical life skills. Business courses will teach important skills like budgeting, financial management, communication and decision making. And it's a foundation for further education, as already mentioned. By getting a business A-level or BTEC, it would entitle you to go to university alongside your other 2 A-levels. And of course, you could boost your problem solving abilities, focusing on real world challenges and helping students to develop critical thinking and problem solving. We also have teamwork and leadership. Business studies often involves group work and projects which can foster teamwork, leadership and collaboration skills, all very useful out in the real world. And you would gain a global perspective, and business education provides an understanding of how global markets work and the impact of international trade. I would say that is definitely true at business A-level. Improves your communication skills. Business courses enhance verbal and written communication abilities as students learn to write reports, give presentations and communicate effectively. I would say that's definitely true on both A-level and BTEC business courses, and like I say, you're picking up those communication skills that you would need out there in the real world. And then finally, there are opportunities for innovations. Business students are encouraged creativity and innovation, teaching students how to think strategically and develop new ideas. So now let's take a quick look at the options at level 3. What are the 2 courses that are mainly offered at colleges in the UK? Well, first up is A-level business. Now there are various exam boards that offer this particular qualification. I'm not going to focus too much on the exam boards and the content of that. We're just giving a quick overview as to whether business is the right qualification for you. And of course, currently there is the BTEC business. Now, I've already mentioned that there are some government changes coming in, but the BTEC business at time of recording is still going to be around for a good few years yet. So it is again worth considering at this stage. Let's have a look at grading. So a business A-level is graded A star to E, and a BTEC business course is graded D star to pass. D star, of course, obviously stands for distinction. Then you've got the distinction grade, then you have merit, and then you have a pass. I think it's really important to note at this point, explaining that grading in comparison, because a common question is, how does the BTEC business, compare with an A-level business? Well, let's have a quick look at that. So A star is equivalent to a D star at BTEC Business. A distinction is equivalent to an A at A level. And then I guess the next two are very important to note. So a merit on a BTEC is equivalent to a C grade. And more importantly to be aware of is that a pass on a BTEC Business is equivalent to an E at A level. So if you are going to take up the BTEC Business, I would say that your overall grade of a merit needs to be your goal. Also, just to point out UCAS points. Now, you may not have heard of this or know what this is, but UCAS points are the points that you get for your qualifications. And as you can see from the two tables, let's just quickly glance down at an E at the business A level. You can see that you get 16 UCAS points. And of course, if you've got an A star, you get 56 UCAS points. And of course, the more UCAS points you have, it means that it's kind of more qualified to enter and go to certain courses, as there will be entry requirements to get into university. That's what that means. UCAS stands for the University College Admissions Service. So they do it on a point system. But as you can see, D star on a BTEC carries the same UCAS points as A level, as does distinction, and of course merit again equivalent to that C, and pass equivalent to the E grade. Okay, so next slide is about looking at what kind of careers you could do and where it could lead you. Now, of course, this is no right or wrong answer here. This is just an overview, really, and just to give you a flavour of some of the careers you could have if you've got a business A level or BTEC. So let's get started. Yes, definitely top of my list would be entrepreneur and business ownership, marketing and advertising, accountancy and finance, human resources, banking and finance, retail and sales management, project management, logistics, supply chain management and operations, event planning and management, customer service manager, and admin and office management. There's just a sort of flavour. Of course, there are thousands of different careers out there, but that just gives you an oversight as to some of the careers that you could potentially choose. I think it's also important to note here that certain universities won't take you on certain courses if you're interested in the following areas. So it's important to note that when making your choices. So if you were studying business A level, it's likely that you might not get on to a course studying medicine, for example, because they will want you to have studied different A levels. So always make sure that you choose the right A levels for you, or a career becoming a vet, for example, engineering, perhaps not for business, research scientist, pharmacist, and architect. These are just a few that I dug out just to be aware of. But of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get into those careers as well. So another common question that I often get asked is the A-level business or the BTEC business. What should I do? How do they compare? What's the difference? Those are all kind of common questions. Let's have a look. So on an A-level business, you would study the syllabus for 2 years, and then you would do your exams at the end of year 2. On a BTEC business, it's normally made up of various assessment methods, from coursework to controlled assessment. Probably have an exam in there as well, followed by more coursework. The BTEC Extended Certificate is normally made up of 4 units and normally follows that kind of pattern there of assessment methods. So A-level, just exams mainly, and BTEC is kind of a mixture of coursework, a controlled assessment exam. No outcome till the end on an A level. That's the truth of the matter on that one. So if you study for 2 years and you don't really ever find out how well you've done, until results day at the end of year 2. Whereas on a BTEC business, you kind of tend to know how you're doing as you go. So for example, at the end of year 1, likely your teacher would say, congratulations, you got a distinction on your first piece of coursework, and you passed the exam, for example. And so you kind of know that you're on track and you're doing okay, and that can help to kind of motivate you to go back into year 2 and what have you. There is an option to downgrade to an AS as well on an A level. So say it wasn't going so well, or you found you're struggling a little bit, there would be the option to potentially downgrade. I can't say for definite that your college would do that, but the option would be, if you got to the end of year 2 and thought, actually, I'm not sure I can cope with the full A level, there potentially would be the option to downgrade to an AS if you wanted to. You would need to be aware of the impact of that, because of course it would mean that you would leave college with 2.5 A levels as opposed to the 3, and if you're thinking of going to university, it could have an impact on that. But I just wanted to sort of give you a flavour of all options. And on the BTEC Business, it normally comes in the following formats. Now, there are other courses as well, but let's just give you a quick overview of this. You have the BTEC Certificate in Business. Now, that's equivalent to an AS. You normally study that over 1 year. We also have the Extended Certificate, which is equivalent to 1 A level. And if you're really into your business, you could potentially do a diploma if your college offers that particular course, and that is equivalent to 2 A levels as well. So you'd be studying sort of double business and one other subject. But I hope that helps you to give you a quick overview of whether it's A level or BTEC Business. So just continuing on the theme of A-level versus BTEC Business, got a little comparison table for you to have a read of, and I'll just leave that up there for a moment. Just looking at different aspects and doing the comparison. Of course, there is a different aspect on the assessment style. As I've already mentioned, A-level business is likely to be exam-based, whereas BTEC Business is a combination of coursework and controlled assessment. Learning approach is different. On a BTEC, it's more sort of practical, hands-on learning with a vocational approach, and A-level business is more theory. Likely that you would study more topics over the 2 years on an A-level business, but kind of on a BTEC business, you would likely to, for example, do a piece of coursework where you're looking at something in quite a lot of depth. So there's pros and cons of both of that, and it really depends on how you learn and what's your sort of personal favourite, if you like. Structure on a BTEC business is modular, allowing students to complete individual units over time, and A-level business is linear, most exams taken at the end, as I've already mentioned. There's preparation for work, comparison, skills focus, and flexibility as well, mentions about that. And also coursework percentage is approximately around about 60% on a BTEC business, and likely on your particular A-level business would be 100% exams. So if exams aren't your thing, then maybe BTEC Business might be the better one. Even though it does have an exam in it, I would say it is the slightly easier exam. It's normally, their exams are normally around about 2 hours, and slightly lower sort of national pass rates on a BTEC Business. Not to devalue the BTEC Business, it is a really good course, just sort of giving you an understanding of the sort of grade boundaries and the differences there. And of course, at the bottom there, it just says BTEC Business is ideal for students who prefer continuous assessment and practical work, and A-level business is ideal for students who excel in traditional exams and theoretical analysis and academic study. So that's the end of the video on whether you should study business at college. I'll just take this opportunity to make sure that and remind you to make the right choice. Spend some time. Remember, you've got to study these subjects for 2 more years, so you're going to choose your 3 subjects wisely. But definitely business could be up there. Like I say, I think the most important thing I would say is that you're either going to work in one or you're going to own one, and so that's why business in the future will probably be important to study. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget forget to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.